first of all, good morning, all of you, and welcome to Speak Bharat, the ultimate GD platform. Okay.
Good
So
morning.
recently, or currently, okay, or in last few years, continuously we are hearing some words: EV, electric vehicles, climate change, carbon emission, then, okay. So with this regard, today we are going to discuss about means today's our topic is electric vehicles. So first we are going to discuss, do we really need those electric vehicles in India or not? If yes, why? If not, why not? Okay. So apart from that, we are going to discuss means are we ready to accept that change in our India? Because already considering our automobile industry and as we use fossil fuels or gasoline in our cars, transport vehicles, two wheelers, means we are going to discuss whether that EV is good for our India in next few years or not, and what are their challenges, what are their difficulties to accept that change because since means for a long or for many years we have been using vehicles which run on gasoline or our fossil fuels, we can say this. So with this regards, so we are going to discuss today. Okay, so first of all, I want to ask you the first question: does India really need EV? If yes, why? If not, why not? What is your opinion? So I would like to start with Parul.
Um, as per my opinion, I think electronic vehicles is needed in India because the fuel charges are so much
Hi.
high, and everyone can't afford. But as comparison, fuel charges, electricity charge price is less, so everyone easily can afford
Electricity's price.
electricity price
Okay.
because there are so many options are increasing solar power, so we can easily afford electric vehicles and electricity charging,
Okay.
so I
No.
think it's needed.
Okay. So means do we really need electric vehicle in India? Okay.
Yes.
Apart from that, why do we need electric vehicles? Yes, Rupali. Next.
Because electric vehicles is easily chargeable. In one day, electric cars is 200 kilometers easily run.
Okay. Okay. So
So
I would like to add one point. Do you know that Niti Ayog, National Institution for Transforming India? Okay. Generally, that Ayog helps or gives their suggestion to our Indian government. So in 2019, okay, that Niti Ayog suggested our government, okay, means after 2030 there will be only EV vehicles will be sold from 2013. So we have around 6 years. Okay. And also our cabinet minister Nitin Gadkari also he said in the interview, or also he suggested all those automobile companies, those who manufacture different types of like Maruti, Hyundai, there are many more companies. Okay, so after 2030 there will not be a means we are trying after 2030 there will be only EV on the roads. Okay, yeah, so first reason is that why do we need EV vehicles? Because as you know, the climate change and the pollution. When we talk about the globally or worldwide, and when we talk about the top 10 cities in the world, so out of these top 10 cities, okay, six are from itself in India. Means when we talk about the globally, okay. So first one is Beijing, and second one is Delhi. Delhi is the second polluted city in the world, right? So as you know, and there are many respiratory problems. Okay, so somehow we have to control this major issue. Okay, considering this air pollution in our environment, and obviously it leads to depletion of ozone layer. Do you know ozone layer? Because of this carbon emission, okay, so there is a depletion of ozone layer day by day, so we have to avoid this. So that's why, okay, ev is must, and EV is the need of future India. Okay, where there will be, because see the transport vehicles, our personal vehicles all run on our gasoline means petrol or diesel and fossil fuels. Okay, so basically, while driving those cars or using those vehicles, transport vehicles, so there is a carbon emission, and which leads to depletion of ozone layer. So somehow we have to avoid these things, and that's why in EV there is no any carbon emission. So it is good for means we can avoid that air pollution. Obviously, we will have pure air in the future, right? So that's why EV is must. So another reason why do we need EV?
I think we must needed inventions, and every automobile company is inventing new thing, EV, and
Right.
we are accepting this thing because it's very easy for everyone. Everyone can
Mm.
charge, and I
Mm.
don't think petrol price would be reduced in
Right.
future. So
Obviously, it is going to be increased day by day in the
yes,
future as
so
well.
for our middle class and lower class
Mm.
peoples, this is very tough to afford.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I agree with you. So as you know, okay, in last few years, when we talk about the prices of petrol and diesel, so means always we see there is a there many times there is a fluctuation of their prices. Many times it goes down, many times it goes up. Okay. So when we talk about the electricity, so in means in last few years or currently as well, so prices of electricity we can always say that it is stable. There is no any sudden rise or sudden hike in the prices of electricity, right? And also prices of petrol and means gasoline are very high, so obviously not possible for everyone or middle class, lower middle class people. Okay, that's why EV is must, right? Yes. Next, so first reason is that to avoid air pollution. Second one is that cheapest price of fuel. Fuel means that batteries or electricity as compared to our traditional fuels, petrol or diesel, cheapest price. Next, is there any another point?
Mm. Low maintenance cost as compared to other vehicles.
Okay, because see in electric vehicles, is how does it work? Because there is one is battery and there is one motor, and that battery produces electricity. Because of that, motor works, and because of that, wheel uh, rotates or runs. That's why vehicle runs. Okay, so there
Yes.
are not there are only few components and parts in that EV as compared to our normal combustion engine vehicles. So
Yes.
that's why obviously means we can save our maintenance cost
Yes.
as compared to other vehicles, transport
Other
vehicles, or those who work on gasoline. Yes. So means your point is minimum maintenance cost. Next.
With the help of EV, we are saving so much time right now, because there are in India there are so many petrol stations, but
Okay.
there still a big long queue.
Right. We
Still
have to wait a lot of. We
we
have
have
to
to
spend a lot of
wait a
time.
lot, and with the help of EV we can save easily. We can charge in our home and
Hmm.
stations. There is
Right.
no rush. So
Yeah. Means in city areas, okay, in even we have enough petrol pumps and their number of quantities, but still we have to wait a lot while refilling those fuel in our cars, petrol or diesel. Right. If we have EV, so by means at our home we have that charging station, so we can charge our EV. Okay, in our parkings or at our homes. So there is no need to go petrol pumps. Sometimes petrol pumps are too long from our homes, means for 5 kilometer, 10 kilometers meters. So it's a wastage of fuel again and wastage of time. But we have EV, so obviously we can save our time. Good. Next. See, I would like to add one more point why EV is important. See, considering today's technology or artificial intelligence, so we are ready to accept those changes. Okay, and obviously, if we know because of that EV, we will have a good future, good quality of air. So obviously, many companies will take initiative. They will start producing those EVs. Okay, in India itself. Recently, Elon Musk, means Tesla company, US based company, they announced that they are going to start their operation in India soon. So obviously, if we have those manufacturing plants in India, so there will be a huge employment, because at present we don't have enough skilled workers who work in EV sector, right? So once we have those manufacturing companies in India, so definitely many people, many engineers, students, salespersons, they will get a jobs. Means ultimately it leads to employment in our India, and it is good for our Indian economy, right? Yes. Next. I have watched two videos on EV and read enough information. That's why I can speak loud. Because unless and until we have that content or knowledge, we cannot speak. But even we have that knowledge, it is very challenging to speak in front of others to express that knowledge. Am I right or wrong?
yes, sir.
So 10 minutes ago every day, what I do before starting this lecture or before we begin, I watched one or two videos on electric vehicles. And if there means I watched that Niti Ayog. So again I searched what does it mean exactly, Niti Ayog. So I went to Google, I searched it, and I came to know, okay, that is the planning commission, and that Niti Ayog suggests government. Okay, Niti Ayog, National Institution for Transforming India. So that Ayog helps our government. What should we do, and future forecasting? What would be our initiatives, major steps be taken in the future? Is there any?
With the help of EV, we are saving our money also, because so many we
Hmm,
can say worker who is doing daily basis work and vegetable seller and
right.
all, they are using EV
Hmm,
vehicles.
hmm,
They can afford easily, and they can go one place to other place, and they can earn money
hmm, hmm.
more, because fuel is so costly, and one more new options in
Right.
front of him, so they are using, and they are using very well, we can say.
Yeah.
everyone have
Right. Yes. Everyone has.
Everyone has these kind of vehicles, and
They can save their money.
yes, they can save their money, because they are very lower.
Yeah, obviously there are some, we can say, the small businessmen or the businessmen who want to go from one place to another place in their day to day life. Okay, so considering prices of petrol and diesel, so it's a kind of, we can say, the it is costly. But if that person has a EV, so he has to charge and he can go anywhere. Right. One more point I would like to add why EV is important, because see, their batteries are used in EV, so we can charge, means it is considered a renewable energy, means we can use that energy multiple times, right? But once we use that petrol or diesel, or when we means consumption of diesel and petrol, so again we are not going to produce that, means ultimately we are going to produce from that sea or other their resources, right? But in battery we can continuously charge as we charge our mobiles, laptops. So it is means renewable energy, we can consider it. Yes. Next point, global
So
warming. Hmm.
electricity car are better for the environment
How?
because very harmful gases like carbon due to
Carbon
petrol or
dioxide.
diesel,
Hmm.
carbon dioxide
Hmm.
due to petrol or diesels.
Hmm.
Electricity vehicle,
It doesn't emit or doesn't produce such harmful pollutants or
yes,
carbon dioxide.
yeah.
Hmm.
So air pollution than petrols.
Now let's discuss about the challenges for EV. Challenges. So what is your opinion? What challenges we should or we may face in the future because of EV?
First, most toughest challenges what we can face in future, when ev fully ev in our road, electronic
Hmm.
vehicles in our road. So that time, they electronic vehicles have no voice, so
Right.
accident chances would be increase in future, because most of time we recognize with
Voice
voice
of other, yes. So
others.
yeah, I agree with you. Suppose if I ride a bike, okay, so I immediately come to know if there is any car or another transport vehicle because of their voice, right? But due to electric vehicle, we will not come to know even that vehicle pass by or pass close to us. So that time it may chances of accidents, right? If we
Yes.
don't have enough attention on the road, because generally while riding our bike, so we come to know there is another vehicle, and that vehicle is coming from our behind. So that time we are aware, we are cautious. Yeah,
Yes.
but it will not happen due to electric vehicle, because that electric vehicle doesn't produce a noise, right? Yes. Next disadvantage or challenges, Nargis.
Uh, at the construction time of electric vehicle,
Hmm.
uh, they provided such limitations to distance
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
two-wheeler EV two-wheelers. 100 kilometers limitation provided from
Hmm.
their companies.
Hmm.
Uh, That's why electric vehicle not convenient for long distance.
Good, very nice point.
Because in India's
Mm.
still not constructed charging stations at several distance.
Okay, okay. So see, I would like to continue your point. Okay. Suppose I have any Maruti four wheeler, okay, and it runs on petrol. So if I mean, suppose let's take example about the Swift car or any Wagner car. So I can fill around 35 to 40 kilometer at a time fuel petrol in that car. And once I full my petrol tank, so after that I can go more than 500 kilometer at a time, right? But it doesn't happen with EV. Suppose even if I charge my car's battery fully, so their range is around 100 kilometer to 120 kilometer. So 120 kilometer is the topmost. So we can consider on an average 100 kilometer. So that's why we cannot go long. We cannot cover long distances because I'm not sure whether that charging station is available at that place or not. Generally, while driving a car, okay, we come to know after 5 or 10 kilometers, we can see any petrol pump. So we are assured that okay, if I go another city, obviously on the highways and in another city, we will get that petrol or diesel easily. But in charging stations are not available in 2023 means. So I think more than 1,500 charging stations, okay, right now in India. But petrol, when we talk about the petrol pumps, so there are around more than 70,000 petrol pumps available in India. So 1,000 and 70,000 means it's around 70 times, right? So that's why charging not enough charging stations available. So this is the challenge. So government should focus on this. So manufacturing companies, those companies manufactures cars, transport vehicles. So they should also means in major cities they should start their charging stations as well as on the highways, right? So that time people will start buying those EVs. So we cannot cover long distances. So this is the we can say the drawback. Okay. So I would like to add one drawback or challenge we can say. We don't want to use that petrol or diesel, right? And that's why we are using EV. But at the time of charging, the electricity we use. So how that electricity is produced, this is also matters. If that electricity is produced by burning that coal, so obviously this is not the good option. Means where we are saving, means we are avoiding that using petrol and diesel. And while when we charge our batteries or EV, that time we are using electricity, and that electricity is produced on the coal. Obviously, we are using that fossil fuel, so there is no use of means that electricity also means on that electricity we charge our batteries or batteries of cars. That electricity also should be also produced on renewable energy. Did you get my point or not? Are you getting my point or not? So
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
yeah,
We
so
are
also
getting.
we have to focus, right? Next.
We can assume maybe if electronic vehicles used would be high in future, so maybe electricity rates would be increase in
Good, very
future.
nice. Yes.
So
So
that
obviously,
time,
so see, after 2030, so it will be compulsory for manufacturing companies. They are not going to manufacture cars which run on petrol diesel. So they have to, or they will have to manufacture their cars which run on only electric vehicles,
electric.
right? So obviously, the consumption of electricity would be increased in the future. And as you know, okay, there will be high demand among the public, so obviously their prices may increase in the future, right? Very nice man.
And
So
because of this, so many people suffer that time, because right now we can use bicycle and we can
two
walk
wheeler,
few distance, but that time we would habitual for
EV,
that those kind of product. Yes, EV.
right? So ultimately means suppose means some people would buy that EV and the people who don't have that EV, so even they have to pay more money for their electricity bills, right?
Yes.
At present, see, it's just the beginning. So only few people have that EV, and that's why means we don't need to spend enough money on those electricity. But in the future, obviously, if there is a high demand, so we will have to pay uh, higher amount of money on our electricity bills. Good point. Very good. Next, Rupali, disadvantages.
Battery issue. Main point is battery issue.
Charging period is a very long for charging full battery, and
Okay.
uh, means 10 to 8 to 10 hours need to charge.
Okay. I would like to continue your point. Okay. So at present, we don't have enough charging stations, right? But
Yes.
still, we can consider that after 100 kilometers, so there is a charging station.
Charge.
Suppose I want to go in South India, and I know in middle of my journey, so there are few charging stations available. But still, once my batteries of EV, my cars, okay, will get drained. So that time I will have to charge my batteries or car, right? But at that station, again, I will have to spend more than 4 hours. So I think it's a wastage of time. So when I am at home and generally in my day-to-day life, when I go to office or go to academy, and if I have that EV, so after returning from office, I can charge my car means throughout the night, and is in the morning I can again start using my car. But when we talk about the long distances, and if there is a need to recharge or charge my car, so again I will have to spend more than 4 hours. So it's a wastage of time, right? Yes. Next.
I think risk would be increase in future because when
How?
we are using fuel, petrol and diesel, so no one is going to touch and access with self. Everyone, every fuel station, people is available there, and they will get
Hmm.
provide facility. But when we using start using EV, that time most of people try to use in our home,
Right.
their home.
Hmm.
So that time electricity risk would be higher.
Yeah, means to get to that get shock means
Short circuit
short
and
circuit or shock.
yes, shock, and there are so many kids in home, so they can touch also.
Hmm,
How
hmm,
we
hmm,
can
hmm.
save that
Okay.
time?
Means there are not enough safety provisions for EV,
Yes,
because when we go to petrol pumps, there are some people available. They refuel our cars, right? But
yes, they are.
electricity, we have to carry their equipment, their chargers, and obviously it needs three-phase connection, I think, for
Yes,
EV.
most
Okay,
EV.
and it has a huge voltage, so there is some kind of risk, right? Right. Hmm. I would like to add one drawback of EV. When we compare about the prices of EV as compared to our regular vehicles, so there is we can see that okay, or it is observed that EV vehicles prices are very high, more than around 5 lakhs. Suppose let's take example. Suppose normal car I want to buy, so it is available in 5 to 7 or 7 to 8 lakhs. But when we talk about the EV cars, those are available more than 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs. So I don't think middle class people generally who can buy Maruti's Wagoner car or other Hyundai's i10 car, so those people cannot buy EV cars, right? So prices are very high. Initially, prices are very high, but in the future, we can consider it will be reduced. But at present, EVs prices are very high. Hmm. There are also two companies, MG Hector and Kia. They also have their EVs, but their prices also very high, more than 20 lakh rupees. See, to change mindset of people, it is very difficult for government considering their prices, right? Because see, means when there is a transition in the society is not ready to change or accept that change. So society always resists to that change. So normally mentality of our people, and there are some superstitious things. So sometimes we hear that a battery explodes, right? So that time, if there are some any viral news or any viral video, and somehow we hear from other people, listen from any social media platform, so that time we scared to buy those EV vehicles, right?
I think we will face financial problem in future because of EV. When we start any new thing in
Hmm.
our daily routine, that time we will get habitual, more habitual. Just
Hmm.
kind of we are using Android cell phone, so that price are going to day by day increasing, and we are going that kind of
Still,
race.
still, still we are
Still, we are purchasing
purchasing
that
those
kind
things.
of gadgets.
So now those gadgets have become our part of life,
Yes, because we are very habitual for that
right?
kind of things.
Hmm.
So
So
I
we
think
cannot live without our mobile or laptop internet connection.
yes.
Hmm.
So that time we can face financial problem because that electricity rates would be high, and
Hmm.
vehicles are going to increase,
Their prices
and
also
their
will be
prices
increased
will
in the
be
future.
increases, and that time we will just habitual that kind of vehicles.
Right. Means
So we
earlier
will face.
we used to use that data 2 GB for a month. Now every day we use 2 GB, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next, Rupali.
So, vehicle cars is highly purchase cost than regular automatic, but vehicle cars is selling price, so low price is selling amount.
Mhm. So I
So,
got your point. So you mean to say, suppose I have I-20 car and after using 2 or 3 years, even I want to sell that car, so I get
yeah,
enough or good money, right?
yeah,
Old second-hand car, right? But see,
mm,
after using that, there is no market or second-hand market for EVs car. Means at
yes,
present we cannot see the people who are interested to buy EV in second hand, right?
yeah,
Generally, there is a huge market, the people who can't afford new cars. So generally, we can see in our area atmosphere, many people buy second hand car.
yes,
Am I right or miss?
yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay.
Right.
So there is no market for second hand EVs, we can say.
Yes,
At present, do you know that EV runs on batteries, and the batteries are made up of lithium is the source. Okay, so generally we are dependent on China at present, and recently we have found some resources in Jammu Kashmir of that lithium. Okay, so it takes some time. So but currently major of the countries in the world, those are dependent on China. And as you know, we want to become self independent, Atmanirbhar Bharat, if you heard this term. Okay, so this is not good in a long term, because ultimately even we want to start EVs, manufacture EVs, so we will have to buy those batteries from China. Also, most of the compartments, then parts and other parts of the car, so we miss we need, or we rely on our China. Okay, so that time in my opinion we should rely on our countries, other countries with we have a good relations, like Australia, Japan, UK. And also in the future we will have to produce or manufacture those batteries and other parts which we require to produce any car. So itself those parts will be manufactured itself in India. So at present, this is the challenge for us. We have to rely on China for those batteries, lithium batteries. Next,
I think competition would be high in future
hmm,
between the automobiles company who is manufacturing the EV vehicles.
obviously in the future, every company will have to manufacture only EV.
Yes, so that time competition would be high, and
Uh,
that's why
hmm,
that time suffer only people who are using these kind of
right.
vehicle.
So I would like to add one more disadvantage or challenge. Okay, suppose there in the future there will be only EV manufacturing companies, or companies will produce only EV, electric vehicles. So that time obviously we need that skilled labor, those who can adjust with that their work environment, right? Because if you want to work in that EV manufacturing setup or unit, so any person or labor must have that knowledge how to handle those things. So at present we don't have enough skill labor or manpower, so this is the drawback we can consider for this segment or this sector, EV sector. So in the future we will also have, we can consider it opportunity. Means there should be some separate universities, some colleges or some courses, those who want to make career in EV sector we can consider. So there should be separate education where all guidance or the, we can say, the study, okay, should be done according to that EV sector. Am I right or wrong? because at present, see, there are many courses available, vocational courses available, right? Or ITI, do you know ITI?
Yes, sir.
There are diesel mechanics, such kind courses are available. Okay, so likewise, there are the 12th class or 10th class students, they want to make career in this sector, so there should be some government colleges or some institutions, schools, where they can get that education regarding manufacturing of EV vehicles, right? And once they complete, they will get job in those automobile industry or EV industries. Hmm.
As you told that we are going to dependent on China, so dependency is not good for anyone.
Right.
So I think we will face difficulty in our future, because
Most of the
China
most
is not good
yeah,
for in any kind of.
right. So most of the countries are rely on China, because in China there are a huge, we can say, the manufacturing units, and they produce their parts, equipments, components, okay, on large scale, okay, with
They
minim
can manufacture anything.
with minimum price. So that's why our government should start or take initiative. Means we have taken that initiative. It is called Atmanirbhar Bharat, where we don't need to import anything from other countries. One more thing I forgot to add. Okay, as you know, out of 100%, 80 or more than 80%, we have to import crude oil from other countries, and generally those crude oil used to produce that petrol or diesel, right? If we have that EV in the future, so obviously we don't need to spend lakhs of or crores of rupees in dollars, okay, to buy that oil. So we miss India imports oil every year. Whatever we need, or their consumption, out of their consumption, around 86% or more than 85 or 80%, we need to import from other countries. So if we have EV vehicles in the future, so we don't need to spend money for that, because whenever we miss our India, okay, import anything, so that time we don't pay in rupees, we need to pay in dollars. So obviously, ultimately, it impacts on our forex reserve. Forex reserve means foreign currency, dollar. Generally, it is used while that global transactions. So that's it for today. Okay. So everybody clap for everyone. Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye, sir. Bye, everyone.